Pittsburgh builds fighters, steel in their blood, grit in their bones. It's a city that never backs down, and neither does Chris LaCivita. Pittsburgh tough and built to win.
And LaCivita is best understood as a shrewd and ruthless operative who really understands how to target an opponent's weaknesses.
It's a big night for Republicans, a really, really tough night for Democrats.
And it is the Republican, Pat Roberts, who is, we are projecting, going to be the independent Greg Orman.
And ABC News can now project Republican Senator Ron Johnson to win his bid for re-election in Wisconsin, beating Democratic challenger Mandela Barnes.
Well, first of all, I've known him for over 20 years. I think he's probably the best political operative in the Republican Party. And most Republicans I know in politics right now are saying, thank God for Chris LaCivita. He's done a hell of a job.
Wiles and LaCivita, these unique skill sets, they are two of really the most feared operators I've ever been around in politics.
Chris LaCivita, campaign manager. This is probably the best run campaign ever.
But it had that tight-knit group led by Chris LaCivita, Susie Wiles, who did such a great job.
NBC News can now project that Donald Trump will win in the state of Pennsylvania. 19 electoral votes.
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th president of the United States.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2025 Allegheny County Spirit of Lincoln Day Dinner. Please rise for our national anthem sung by Thomas Chavone. Turn up the podium mics, make sure they're on.
Oh, say, can you say by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and welcome Pittsburgh Police Sergeant Andrew Robinson to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated as we welcome to the stage Rabbi Hesky Rosenfeld to deliver this evening's invocation.
As we begin this evening, I offer a prayer and a few words of perspective drawn from both our sacred tradition and the teachings of our sages. Today, is Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Memorial Day, a time when we pause to remember the 6 million Jews, including 1.5 million children, who were murdered in one of the darkest chapters in human history. Our sages emphasized that memory alone is not enough. Remembrance must inspire responsibility. The response to darkness must be a greater light. We are taught that every person is a reflection of the divine image, each life a world unto itself. That belief compels us to defend life, to stand against evil, and to build a society grounded in moral clarity. President Abraham Lincoln, whose legacy we honor tonight, fought for the soul of this nation, for freedom, for justice, and for the fundamental truth that all are created equal. The United States of America is a country founded not only on liberty, but on accountability to a higher power, a nation under God. That recognition is what gives us our freedoms meaning and our responsibilities weight. As we gather tonight in the spirit of service, may we be blessed with leaders who embody principle and who recognize that leadership is not power, but purpose. May we each be empowered to be lamplighters, igniting goodness in our homes, in our communities, and in our country. And may the memory of those who we honor today inspire us to build a world that is more compassionate, more just, and more deeply aware of the infinite value of every human soul. May God bless this gathering. May God bless our leaders, and may God bless the United States of America. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats and welcome the chairman of the Republican Committee of Allegheny County, Jason Ritchie.
Good evening, Allegheny County Republicans. Yeah. Fantastic crowd. Over 670 people here. We love you back there, table 67 and 66, 65. I can see you. But just an incredible crowd, and I'm so happy that you're all here. Thank you for coming. It's been an incredible honor to stand before you tonight as the newly elected chairman of the Republican Party of Allegheny County. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for putting your trust in me. I am humbled by your support, and I am fired up to lead this party onward to many victories ahead. Now, to begin this evening, please join me in recognizing my predecessor, Chairman Emeritus Sam DeMarco, for his many years of service to our party as chairman. Yeah. Sam, stand up. He laid a strong foundation on which we now build. Sam, thank you for your service. Now, let's make no mistake. 2024 was not just a good year for Republicans in Pennsylvania. It was a historic one. We re-elected Tim DeFore as Auditor General. We re-elected Stacey Garrity as Treasurer. And for the first time in nearly 2 decades, we return the Attorney General's office to the party of law and order by electing my friend Dave Sunday to that post. You'll be happy. We now have an Attorney General who will prosecute scandals and not start them. But the success did not stop there. We together sent Bob Casey packing back to Scranton, and we sent our own Allegheny County candidate, Dave McCormick, to the United States Senate. Yeah. And finally, we returned Donald J. Trump to the White House. Now, notice what I just said there. I said we, because that victory wasn't an accident. It wasn't luck. It was strategy. It was discipline. And the man behind the presidential victory plan is with us tonight. A true son of Western Pennsylvania, President Trump's co-campaign manager, Chris LaCivita. There he is, right there. Chris, you made history. You made your hometown proud, and we can't thank you enough for being here tonight and allowing us to honor you. And speaking of making our hometown proud, we also want to bring on stage right now our Republican officials serving right here in Allegheny County. These are the leaders who are fighting every day for common sense, conservative values. First, State Senator Devlin Robinson. State Representative Valerie Gatos. State Representative Andrew Kuzma. State Representative Jeremy Schaefer. Yeah. County Councilman at Large, Mike Ambrasia. Yeah. And finally, County Councilman, Councilwoman Suzanne Falagi. All right, these are incredible candidates, and I appreciate their hard work for this county. Appreciate you all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. And right now, I can tell you from my run for governor, it's hard to run for office, and it's when you do it, you put yourself out there. And right now, I'd really like to, if you are a local candidate, a local elected official, or a candidate running for office, please stand up so you can be recognized. And my final introduction, I want you to please join me in acknowledging the newly elected chairman of the Republican Party of Pennsylvania, State Senator Greg Rothman. All right, we're going to start off tonight with a special treat. We have a true friend and champion of our party and our nation who's with us tonight. And even though she calls Indiana County home, Christine Toretti has been one of the most impactful supporters of Republican candidates and causes right here in Allegheny County and across the Commonwealth. Christine Toretti's list of accomplishments runs from the creation of the Ann Anstine Excellence in Public Service Series to business success in energy and finance. She was the 2016 winner of the Republican Committee of Allegheny County's Kenneth Simon Award for Lifetime Achievement. She is Pennsylvania's long-standing Republican National Committee woman, and she's currently the RNC's budget chair. And soon, she'll be representing our nation across the Atlantic when she takes her post as the United States Ambassador to Sweden. Yeah. Christine's given her time. She's given her resources and her heart to this party. And tonight, it's our turn to say thank you. Please join me in recognizing our friend, Christine Toretti. Now, if that doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. But I want to be crystal clear with you tonight. Our work is far from over. As your chairman, I understand that we need to make Allegheny County much stronger if we are going to turn this Commonwealth permanently red. In the 2 months since I have been taking office, we have aggressively strengthened our ground game by starting or restarting over 15 local committees. And Chris, I want you to know one of them is your hometown of McKeesport. We're going to start getting some Republicans elected and turn that place around. I promise you. And by November 2025's general election, it is our goal that Allegheny County will have active functioning committees in every municipality in Allegheny County. That will happen. From now on, the Allegheny County Republican Party will be fighting for every community, every neighborhood, and every voter in the entire county. We are also beginning to organize large voter registration drives like never before. We are organizing the drives through our own committee members, as well as third-party partners like the Libre Initiative, which seeks to recruit and court Hispanic voters. We have many new and diverse voters that we need to reach. Times have changed, everyone. The Republican Party is now the party of the working middle class. While our friends, the Democrats, have become the party of the elite, the academic, and the woke. Now is our time. Now is our moment to grow this party. With new local committees supporting our ground game, our voter registration drives, and support from dedicated Republicans like you, we will begin to win more and more in Allegheny County in the coming months and years ahead. And we will fulfill our duty and play our role in turning Pennsylvania red once and for all. So tonight, let's celebrate our victories in this past election, and tomorrow we will get to work because the fight for Pennsylvania and Allegheny County's future is just starting. Thank you all very much. Enjoy your meal.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Chairman Jason Ritchie.
All right, everybody. Now we're on for the main event. So if you guys could all have your seats, I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, everybody can take their seats. I've been asked, we have a Pennsylvania endorsed candidate for Superior Court. Her name is Judge Wheatcraft. She's here from Philadelphia. Judge Wheatcraft, can you please stand up and be recognized? Where's she at? Thank you for coming. We very much appreciate it. Everyone, because of your generosity and unwavering support tonight, I'm proud to announce that we have raised a record-breaking amount to support our efforts here in Allegheny County. That funding is already being used and making a difference in helping our candidates. It's strengthening our ground game and building momentum all across the region. So I want to thank you all. Thank you, donors. I appreciate this record-breaking night. So please join me in recognizing all of our tonight's sponsors. They've been fantastic. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, it is my distinct honor to introduce a true Pennsylvania patriot. He's a decorated combat veteran, a successful businessman, a wrestler, which means he's really tough, and a conservative leader who's fighting to restore strength, sanity, and shaking things up in Washington, D.C. Please join me in welcoming Allegheny County's own United States Senator Dave McCormick.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you to our new outstanding chairman for Allegheny County. Let's give him a hand. Thank you. Lucky to have him. And look at this room. I mean, what an honor to be here with so many great Pennsylvanians, so many great Americans. What an honor to be here with so many VIPs. What an honor to be here with so many young Republicans. I just want to tell you what a privilege it is to be with you tonight. Thank you all for making this an incredible night. Thank you, Jason. You know, tonight's a celebration. Tonight we celebrate our great victory last November. We celebrate the hard work that all of you put in to make victory possible. And I'd like to give a special shout out, she's already been recognized, but to my finance chair, Republican committee woman, Christine Toretti, for her incredible leadership, her friendship over many decades. Thank you, Christine. It's hard to believe we've known each other for, 40 years or pretty close to it. Hard to believe. We also celebrate a key architect of November's victory, and that's my good friend, Chris LaCivita. We'll talk more about him in a minute. Thank you, Chris, for being here and letting us have the chance to honor you. But tonight, in addition to celebrating, we look to the future. We look to what we do next. Because in many ways, the hard work is just beginning. Almost 250 years ago, hard to believe, 250 years ago, on May 10th, 1775, the Second Continental Congress convened right here in Pennsylvania. And a few weeks earlier, the American Revolution had begun in Lexington and Concord with the shot that was heard around the world. And war was on. And Ben Franklin and Robert Morris, their fellow Pennsylvanians, and all the Continental Congress had to figure out how to win freedom from British tyranny. And so they got to work. And they established an army that unified all the disparate militias. And they put a man in charge, a Virginian named George Washington. And then a year later, they adopted our founding document, the Declaration of Independence, and America was born. And so it's fitting that we're gathered here again in Pennsylvania on the eve of that anniversary. Pennsylvania made a difference then. And thanks to all of you, Pennsylvania is making a difference now. We find ourselves at an incredibly consequential moment right now. A consequential moment for America. And the leadership that all of you helped to elect in November is answering the call. And I want to start by saying, and many in this room are my friends, I want to start by saying just how honored and privileged I feel to serve as your senator. You know, when you go in that chamber and you look up on the wall and you see these statues, and you walk out in the hall and you see the statues of Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln. I'm the 54th elected senator in Pennsylvania's history. And I'm the 9th from West Point. And my first vote as your senator was for the Laken-Riley Act. And that ensured any illegal immigrant who committed a violent crime would be deported, and it was signed into law by President Trump. And the very first question I asked at a hearing was for Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And in that question, I urged him to bring Butler's PA's Mark Fogel home from the Russian gulag. Dina and I met with his mom in Squirrel Hill, and we promised her that we do everything we could if we got in office to try to bring Mark home. And thanks to President Trump's leadership, I enjoyed my favorite day, my happiest day in the Senate, when Dina and I welcomed Mark Fogel to the White House after President Trump and his team had negotiated his release. It was an incredible day. And President Trump's leadership is also working on the southern border, where illegal crossings are down 94%. Sort of hard to believe in 100 days. And the cartels running fentanyl into our communities have been designated foreign terrorist organizations, and they are in our crosshairs, and communists in Beijing are on their back foot under the leadership of President Trump. Now, we got a lot of work to do. We got to keep on the effort to bring taxes down, unleash Pennsylvania energy, and to make the economy stronger for working families across Pennsylvania. But as President Trump says, so far, promises made, promises kept. And that's pretty good for the first 100 days. But you know, we almost didn't get to fulfill those promises. But for 15,000 votes in my race, much of this wouldn't have happened. That's the way it is with elections, right? Much of it wouldn't have happened. When you win by such a small margin, every single thing counts. Every sign you pounded into the ground. Every door you knocked. Every call you made. Every dollar you donated. Everything, every single thing you did last year mattered. Every single thing. And I said this wasn't just a celebration, and I mean it. It is a call to action. It's an urgent appeal to stay on the offense and not rest on our laurels. This is the moment where we have to decide whether we're going to double down on the incredible momentum we have or whether we're going to take a break. And I want to urge all of us, myself included, not to take a break. We won last year because we built a new coalition. And now we need to solidify it. We need to nurture it. And we need to grow it. And the very future, the future of the conservative movement and the Republican Party is about working families and small businesses and building on that coalition. President Trump uniquely created this coalition, but now we need to solidify it. Going forward, we need to focus on the promises and the policies that will deliver opportunity for workers and their families. And we need to work tirelessly to reach out to people who don't traditionally vote Republican. I spent a lot of time, some of my best time in the campaigning with young people, Hispanics, the Jewish community, and Black voters. And it made a huge difference. With your help, we broke a lot of barriers in these communities, but we have to keep it going. You know, the same holds true for the suburbs. Conventional wisdom holds that as Republicans do better with non-college graduates and the working class, they are necessarily going to do worse in the suburbs. But as Chris knows, in the 2024 Trump campaign, that conventional wisdom was wrong. And in the process of building this new coalition, we made huge structural changes in Pennsylvania that will help future campaigns and future candidates. Last year, we closed the registration gap from 660,000 to 220,000, and it's closing fast. Can you believe that? Right? Can you believe it? We made tremendous progress with mail-in ballots. Tremendous progress with mail-in ballots. And none of this happened. None of it happened by accident. None of it happened because of good fortune. It happened because of the hard work of many people in this room. Yes, my friends, this is a new Republican Party. And if we continue to build it, we are going to turn Pennsylvania red. And if we turn Pennsylvania red, America will follow. But that's how it always goes, isn't it? When America calls, Pennsylvania answers. Pennsylvania powered the 19th century, built the first commercial oil well, and set off decades of energy dominance right here in Pennsylvania. When the world went to war for a second time, we built the arsenal of democracy right here with Pennsylvania Steel. And just last year, when weak leadership in Washington threatened our very way of life, Pennsylvania rose to the occasion once again. Pennsylvania is where the future of our country will be reborn, right here in Pennsylvania. It couldn't be more important. The stakes couldn't be higher. But that's not all I want to talk about with Pennsylvania, and that's not the only thing Pennsylvania is home to. Our great Commonwealth also claims tonight's guest of honor, Chris LaCivita, as its native son. Chris was born. His mom's here tonight. Thank you for coming to see us honor your great son. Chris was born to two first-generation Americans in McKeesport, not too far from here. As a young man, he moved to that other Commonwealth to the south, Virginia. And after graduating from college, he joined the Marine Corps. I know Devlin Robinson is smiling from ear to ear right now. All right. But Chris found, returning, after he went to the Marine Corps, he returned home from the Gulf War with a Purple Heart. And he found his future in a different type of combat, politics. He worked in congressional and gubernatorial campaigns in Virginia. He ran the state party there and eventually got his big break running the National Senatorial Committee in 2002. He went on to many victories. But as co-campaign manager and senior advisor to President Trump, Chris helped orchestrate one of the greatest comebacks and campaigns in American political history. With Chris and Susie Wiles at the helm, President Trump not only won, he won the popular vote, and he won every single swing state, including our great Commonwealth. And I had the privilege of seeing this up close and personal. Chris is a strategist and a fighter, and he has what so many people in politics lack: a genuine understanding of what people all over America, and particularly in Pennsylvania, actually care about, and a genuine desire to make their lives better. Chris and I are roughly the same age. He, like me, remembers when steel towns like McKeesport were like before unfair trade practices and unchecked globalization claimed them as victims. He sees how Pennsylvanians have taken it on the chin, whether it's factories closing across the Commonwealth or fentanyl, killing thousands of young Pennsylvanians every single year. And he gets that what Americans want is strong leadership that keeps the American dream alive and our liberty secure. And Chris was wounded in battle to protect all these things. He delivered that leadership back to Washington last year. So I want to thank you, Chris, for your service to our president, for your service to our Commonwealth, and for your service to our nation. And on a personal level, I want to thank you for being such a good friend to Dean and me. So thank you, Chris, from the bottom of my heart for helping me to realize the privilege and honor of serving as the 54th Senator from Pennsylvania. Now, I told President Trump that we were honoring Chris tonight, and he asked me to share this message with you.
Chris, I know firsthand that you are an absolute warrior, an exceptional patriot, and one of the greatest fighters in American politics. And I will tell you, you were by my side and we won the presidency. That's all we can say. What has to be said other than that? Of course, you've learned how to fight from the very best, the United States Marine Corps. You bravely served our nation in uniform. And as of last July, we now have something in common. We have both taken a bullet for our country. But I want to thank you not only for your extraordinary service on our campaign, which was just leadership and brilliance, but to take back the White House. We did something very special. For you, it was decades of political trenches fighting to defend America, and you learned a lot, and you gave me that knowledge. You should be incredibly proud of all you've accomplished. It's an honor to call you a friend, and really was an unbelievable honor to work with you toward our big victory in the presidency. Congratulations. Enjoy yourself and have a great life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating the great Chris LaCivita. Thank you.
Wow. I didn't expect that. That's, well, I will treasure that. And I, of course, will treasure this. That's, Senator, and everyone, thank you. You know, I'm generally not used to giving the speeches. I usually write them, and I stand in the back. You know, I'm that guy that's pacing back there, making sure everybody gets, they hit their lines. And I always advise and have advised candidates for, 35 years of doing this. Very simple, adage that I like to use, which is be seen, be heard, and be gone. So I promise not to trail on too long. Of course, that was advice I would give to everybody but President Trump. Of course, the first thing he would say is, these damn teleprompters aren't working. But no, and it really is, it's a great honor, and I from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. It's obviously, it's great to be here. It's great here to be with my mom, who obviously is the main reason why I'm here. And but obviously being recognized by the great party here, and the James Roddy Spirit of Freedom Award is something I will always treasure. Of course, I love that black and gold jersey. I still wear my Jack Lambert jersey. It doesn't fit perfectly, but and I have my Crosby jersey, and so do my kids, and I may live in the Commonwealth of Virginia, but we bleed black and gold. Always have and always will. Again, being a child of McKeesport and growing up here in the 70s, born in the 60s, here in the 70s, and then, of course, moving down south, in I think it was 78 or 79. I just can't tell you how much it means to me to be back here, to be recognized. The president gave me a great opportunity. But I also, thanking Senator McCormick, whose, frankly, his leadership in all facets of life is a commodity that's, really, really needed in Washington. And, the race in Pennsylvania was so pivotal and so important. And I really can't see a scenario in which we get the numbers that we received without, Dave on the ticket, and so many of you on the ticket working hard. And so he had a great team. They literally led the way in a lot of different areas on messaging, and we're just great teammates. And that's really the point of all of this, which is that, not only are you guys lucky to have Senator McCormick, but Dina as well. I mean, talk about a great team for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I mean, seriously, I mean, you guys are really lucky. But it's a serious team of people who are committed to actually making the country a better place to work, live, and raise a family. That's really what this is all about. But it's also a testament, all of you, to team. And it's a team that makes these wins possible. And, I was lucky enough, blessed actually, to be part of, 35 years of doing campaigns literally in every state but Alaska. And I'm working on that. But, House races, Senate races, gubernatorial races, super PACs, being part of that American system and, the one common theme, the one common thematic or the one common theme that keeps politics going is the people that you work with. And, I was lucky enough to have Susie Wiles, who is literally my best friend and a great leader and someone who put together a top-notch team of professionals who, through decades of experience in the trenches, winning for Republicans and conservative causes, being able to put together a great team of people, with Susie and Tony Fabrizio, our upholster, of course, Jason Miller's been fantastic. And James Blair, our political director, who many of you interacted with, who's now the deputy chief of staff, and Taylor Budowich. And of course, our TV ads. A lot of our TV ads were done by Pittsburgh's own John Brabender. So, we had a great operation. And, the whole aspect of team is really what makes all of us successful. And it's what you guys have done on the ground, not only the year of the campaign, but the year prior and the year prior to that, where in 2020, it was tough. And a lot of things happened in 2020 that we learned lessons from, that you all learned lessons from. And you took those lessons and you put them into practice and you made them, and we embraced, what we say in the Marine Corps, we embraced the suck. Well, we did that on the Trump campaign literally every single day. But what you guys did on the ground here really put us in a position not only to win the Commonwealth, but to win the presidential race. I mean, think about it. From our standpoint, we always knew the only way to win. The president knew the only way to win was through Pennsylvania. We spent more time here than any other state. We spent more money here than any other state. We had a top-notch ground game. We had a top-notch messaging operation. We had a great partnership, again, part of that teamwork with the RNC, with Chairman Whatley, with Laura Trump, who totally redefined the role as a co-chairman. Without that teamwork, without everybody working together, the victory just isn't possible. And, the president, I could go on for days, but what he endured on a daily basis, just because he wanted to make America, strong again. He wanted to make America safe again. He wanted to make America great again. But what he endured on a daily basis, he did for you. And, I would see him on the plane after hours of sitting in a degrading courtroom in New York City. And we get on the plane and he'd be, we'd put on a fight and, we put the music on. And of course that plane was crazy at 2 o'clock in the morning. You couldn't hear yourself think. And I was always amazed at just how cheerful he was and how he was able to maintain a degree of composure that would break any normal person. And, you know, he was truly motivated by doing and going through what he went through in order to get into the White House and actually make these substantive changes that we see him making on a daily basis. I mean, he's accomplished more in almost 100 days than most presidents do in a full 4-year term. And so we see it's truly remarkable. But again, none of that is possible without, oh boy, I fumbled the ball. Well, hopefully our 21st pick will be able to pick that up and run with it, put 7 on the board. But, you know, it's not possible without everybody here, what you guys do on a daily basis. You give your time, you give your treasure, you give your input. And, you know, those things are very, very important. I mean, I just can't believe the size of this crowd. I mean, this is fantastic. Hats off to you guys, really. I mean, this is just, I've been to a lot of Republican dinners over the last 35 years. And, you know, usually I see this for a candidate, right, running for something. But this is for the party. And it's a testament to what we have going here. It's clearly an indication of where the Commonwealth is going. And, you know, I just, again, want to thank everybody here for everything that you've accomplished, because every single one of you share a piece in Donald Trump's victory. And, you know, I was put in a phenomenal position with Susie to help guide and steer, really what was a fantastic campaign and a culmination of my 35 years in this business. But I have to tell you, we couldn't have done it without Dave. We could not have done it without each and every one of you. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you. God bless you. And let's go Steelers.
All right. So we're going to close out this part of the night. The original plan was the band was going to be in the back. But we had so many people sign up for this event that we filled it with tables, and we have a band across the hall. So this is just the beginning of the party. Dessert is across the hall. The best band in Pittsburgh is across the hall. So please keep the party going. And I want to close this dinner by thanking Dina and Senator McCormick, Chris LaCivita, our donors and supporters, and all of you for being here tonight. And now the after party begins. Please stick around, have fun, and on to victory. Thank you.